Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are back with another brand new Jurassic World Rebirth release, and as you can see, it is the second of the Plannosaurus line. This is the Mosasaurus, and I must say, it's a shame that they always show these really cool renders and images of the Mosasaurus here, and then the figures are nowhere near as nice. That is definitely sad. In the grand scheme of things, because that figure does look really cool that they have right there. Well, it's not really the figure, but that art for it looks really cool. Here you can see a little sort of like a sneak peek of the figure and it being assembled. Down here on the bottom, again, some more shots of the figure. The fact that you can have it in the skeleton phase or the fully finished phase. Then over here on the side, another shot of the Mosasaurus. Up here, some random information, and then another shot over here. So what we're going to do is open the box up here, and then obviously we've got a whole bunch of stuff here included inside, which is pretty much the standard stuff when it comes to the Plannosaurus figures. So at this point, I'm going to pull everything out. I'm going to get the skeleton built, and we'll check that out. So progressing forward with the Mosasaurus, we do now have the skeleton assembled. Gotta try to move that just over a little bit so we can get a little bit of a better look. You can see again, the skeleton does look really cool. The head sculpt looks pretty awesome. Decent detail and everything within the skull, and as you move through, you will see again definitely a muted look as far as detail goes. You've got some okay detail as you move down into the flipper and stuff, but up here you don't see a whole lot, but you do at least have some fun articulation. And look at how wide open you can articulate that jaw. Of course, you can as well move the neck, which is pretty cool, allowing a little bit of posability. Not a whole lot upward, but well, I was going to say a little bit downward, but these pop out so easily. So you do have basically a spot right here. You can also swivel, and you've got another spot right here. As you move back, you also have the ability to articulate the flippers, which again, as you move them around, it's going to loosen them up. You also can articulate this section right here, up and down. And yes, you can swivel it, which I was curious about, although now that's falling apart as well. So there might be some minor repairs that you'll need to do to the figure once you actually assemble it and, basically pose it how you would like. As you move back, you do, of course, also again have the rear flippers, which can swivel and move up, down, left, right, all that sort of stuff. You've also got another spot right here, which can articulate again, and then another spot right here, which can, again, basically articulate a little bit, swivel as well, and then one final spot right here, which only goes up and down. It does allow for some pretty cool posability with the skeleton. It's just not anything super impressive, I would say, but of course it looks the same on both sides. But we're going to keep going here. We're going to get a little bit further into this by putting the skin and everything on, but also I do want to state that we do have a really cool backdrop yet again for this one. So absolutely love the fact that they include these. You can see a really cool ocean setting with a shark up there and some fish and stuff. So really neat. And then of course the Jurassic World Rebirth logo. Well, let's go ahead and get the skin and everything on this, and then we'll check it out when it's put together. So we've got our Mosasaurus built and definitely looking really nice. I think as a whole, they did a really good job on this one. Again, the detail looks pretty decent. If you get nice and close, you can see again, it looks really well done as far as the sculpt goes. Absolutely looks as though it does in Rebirth. I can even see injuries and scars and stuff here as you move through the head of the Mosasaurus, which is definitely really nice. We can very clearly see the teeth. Once you open the mouth, which the jaw does stay articulated, you actually have stickers for the inside of the mouth. But again, I don't think the stickers for the inside of the mouth look all that bad. It's usually once we start applying the stickers to the body. But you can see we actually have the extra row of teeth and everything there on the upper side of the inside of the mouth, and the teeth themselves look pretty decent. Again, and the jaw articulates nicely. You also have some areas of articulation as you move back here into the neck region of the Mosasaurus, which you can swivel. You can also go up and down just a little bit and a little bit left and right, but as you can clearly see, the pieces pop off really easily. So something again to be aware of. You can articulate the area a little bit, but doesn't take much before they pop off. As you move back into the body, you continue to have very nice looking detail. It does have a little bit of a muted look, but overall I would say the fine detail of the Mosasaurus looks a little more crisp than it did on the T-Rex. We have all of the bumpy sort of osteoderms and stuff as you move along the back of the Mosasaurus, moving down into the flippers. Again, the flippers look really good. The detailing looks really good. We do have a nice white tone for the underbelly of the Mosasaurus, but you also continue to have, again, that kind of grayish tone for the flippers on both sides. But as you move back, you lead all the way out into the tail. And again, even the tail fin looks really nice as far as the sculpting goes. This one would be a really fun one to actually paint up on your own, because I'm sure once I apply the stickers, it's going to take it to a whole new level of ugly. But once you move the flippers here, you can see you can articulate them up, down, left, right. You can swivel as well, so that does give you some nice posability there. You also have a little bit here in the midsection, but not a whole lot. But you also, again, have another spot right here, left and right, also up and down for both of those areas. So you have actually a little more here, a little more wiggle room, and then again another spot out here in the tail as you lead out, as well as again the flippers. Again, pretty much the same exact articulation we had on the front flippers, but that does allow you to kind of give your Mosasaurus again some turns to the body and stuff, allowing you at least a little bit of posability, even if it's not a massive amount. And again, it's not something that's going to be super impressive or super articulated. It does at least have some pretty fun articulation. So again, sculpt-wise, the Mosasaurus looks really quite nice overall. But again, we are at that point where, for me to complete the review, hypothetically, I guess I should apply the stickers. So we're going to go ahead and do that and see if it turns out super ugly like the T-Rex did. So there we go. We have the stickers now on the Mosasaurus. And although, again, it doesn't look perfect, I will say that I actually like the Mosasaurus a lot more than I like any of the other Plannosaurus figures up until this point, as far as like the actual sticker application goes. Obviously, it's going to continue to mute out the detail. You're really not going to see much in the way of detail other than what is, you know, fabricated on the stickers once you apply the stickers in those areas. But this one I don't think looks super out of place for the most part. You can still see, again, my sticker application isn't perfect, and you can very clearly see where the stickers are located. But once it does have the stickers on, I feel like it's much less obnoxious looking than, you know, like the T-Rex. The T-Rex looked really rough, whereas the Mosasaurus looks a bit more natural. And when you actually kind of like basically look at it from a distance, like you put it pretty far out there, it's not nearly as obvious. So again, the Mosasaurus I actually quite like, and I think I ended up really liking the Mosasaurus in the Plannosaurus line previously, as far as like being one of my favorites in the line. So clearly that's going to be the same case again here with this version. What is also really cool is, just like with the T-Rex, you do have a base. This time we have a very watery looking base with a beautiful translucent blue, and you again have the Jurassic World logo right there, which is always really fun. And you also have a stand to put it on, if I can remember where I set that. So there we go. I need to reposition it completely because I have it in a bad spot. But you now have this super cool base with a really nice display, and then on top of everything you have the really cool backdrop that you can then put behind the Mosasaurus for definitely one of the coolest displays that I've seen for anything Jurassic World Rebirth related so far. And as you can see, that does look really cool. So even if I'm not a huge fan of the stickers, I can say with confidence that I do quite like the Mosasaurus more than any of the other Plannosaurus figures. Honestly, I would say the entire way through. And just in case you were wondering, the size of this Mosasaurus, if I can get this one back here, as you can clearly see, is yet again, just like with the T-Rex, the exact same size as the original Mosasaurus. And I also do have the T-Rex here again, just to kind of give you a feel for the size of the T-Rex next to the Mosasaurus as well. You can very easily see that the T-Rex is significantly smaller, and the Mosasaurus definitely has some pretty good size to it. So no need to do any sort of measurements or honestly any further comparisons, because we've already done all of that with the original Mosasaurus review, and since it is the same size, no need to really, you know, beat a dead horse, as they say. But I would honestly say that this is definitely one of my favorite Plannosaurus figures that has released so far. I think sculpt-wise, it is a really nice rendition of the Jurassic World Rebirth Mosasaurus. I think it would look better if it were just hand painted. Of course, we could do that ourselves, but it's always fun to be able to get the figure and keep it in its original state. I think I might buy a double at one point and then kind of repaint them myself just to see how good they can turn out. But I actually, again, don't mind this one as far as the stickers go, and I almost feel like I should be checking my temperature because I'm saying that, but I don't think this one looks that bad with the stickers on it. And of course, the backdrop that they include for each one of these Rebirth figures is just like the icing on the cake. So again, another pretty cool release from Bandai for the Plannosaurus line. If you are interested in grabbing this and adding it to your collection, I will include a link in the description to where I purchased it on AliExpress, or you can actually grab it on Big Bad Toy Store because I do believe they are about to begin shipping from there as well. So check one of those links, pick it up if you want it, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.